Hey everyone, and welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Paul, owner of PokéJungle.net, to discuss all of the recently revealed Pokemon in Sun and Moon. So let's get started. Alright Paul, so we've gotten 5 new Pokemon over the past few days, thanks to both Worlds and Gamescom, so I thought we'd just go ahead and give our quick thoughts on each of the Pokemon, whether we think they'll be whether we like their designs, how do we think they'll do in battle, that kind of thing. Just overall thoughts so far on our 5 new Pokemon.
Well, thank you so much for having me back. I'm happy to be here. And actually, I really enjoyed seeing the Pokemon that we previously saw in Coral now actually with the in-game footage, because I think they looked a lot better, and so that impressed me right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always a nice change. Like, you kind of get a sense for what they're about when you see them in Coral, but actually seeing them in-game and getting the breakdown of exactly how they work really does do a lot more for them overall, I believe.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and just break these down right off the bat. And first off, we got the one introduced at the Gamescom, Turtonator, which... well, first of all, I love the name. It is a great name, although I've seen some people suggest that it is Turtle and Terminator, but it seems to be Turtle and Detonator. So, it's still brilliant.
Yeah, it is kind of clever.
But what do you think of Turtonator so far?
You know, I like turtle-based Pokemon, and honestly, it has quite an eye-catching design. So I'm looking forward to laying some traps with its special move, and it's a unique-looking little guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me how they mention how the hole in its chest, that's where they vent all the explosions from, is like a major weakness, but I don't see how that would apply to it in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's just one of those interesting facts. But I did have a script when I was going over the details of this Pokemon where I saw that its ability was Shell Armor, saw that its new move was called Shell Trap, and proceeded to mix up the two, where I thought, oh, its a new ability is Shell Trap, which would have been overpowered as hell. But it makes much more sense to have it be Shell Trap be a brand new move. And what do you think of this move just on the basics that we know so far?
Well, I kind of feel like it's similar to Chestnut's Protect move, where you have like the damage coming back at the Pokemon that attacks it. But I do think it'll have some strategic uses, and I'm excited to see in VGC if they can pull that off and make teams based around it.
Yeah, I guess that's the question for me, is I guess it would have to make sure to go second in order to be effective with it, because they only say for that turn. So it wouldn't be one of those things to stick around next time. You just have to make sure you're slower.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how the stats pan out too, if it lends itself well, obviously. I don't think you'd be seeing it in Trick Room teams or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I was mixing it up. I guess it has to be faster if it needs to actually have them hit. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Because that's what happened with Torkoal, which it's interesting to me they chose Torkoal to demonstrate that had to go first. I was like, are we going to have to actually raise this thing's speed in order for that move to be effective, or what are we looking at here?
Yeah, no, and I wonder if that design wasn't floated around as a Torkoal Mega Evolution before they actually made it its own Pokemon, because there are some similarities, I guess. Turtle, Fire.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people wonder if it was an evolution of something previously, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And apparently there is a legitimate turtle, I don't know its name off the top of my head, that it is based off of as far as design, where it is sort of craggy and everything else. But yeah, I could totally see it being a mega evolution and just sort of tweaked a little bit. Which is fine, but I think it is cool to have an original Pokemon, and it is also quite unique in the fact that it is a Fire and Dragon type, which, to the best of my knowledge, the only Fire Dragon types we've gotten before are Legendaries, or in Mega Charizard X's case, Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, and I did actually look, because Reshiram has that type, and I looked up the kind of stat effectiveness, and it does seem to be a decent type combination, so I do hope that it is competitively viable.
Yeah, I mean, this thing has a lot of potential. It's really going to come down to its stats and exactly how well that move works, or just how good it is in general. But I think overall this is a pretty solid new Pokemon. I don't think it's the most exciting one, at least not for me, but it's solid.
Yeah, I think that's a good word, solid.
Alright, cool. Well, next up we have Crabrawler, which is another one we had no idea was coming before, and I love this thing. I love its design. The thing I think that's getting to me is that every time I look at its design, you know how it has those little curves next to its like 2 front teeth? It always seems like it's a smirk to me when I just glance at it. So I always think it has this like confident smirk on its face at all times, even though I don't know if that's the intention or not. But yeah, a boxing Pokemon. This is a pure fighting type. When you look at it and you thought, oh, it's going to be another water type, and nope, fighting pops up.
And I think like it could be based off like a coconut crab, which are not really water crabs at all. They live totally on land. So I think it does fit. You know, it's not kind of shoehorned into that single type. I think it works totally.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I don't know. It's I saw somebody online compare it to like looking at Crabrawler's bio. He's totally is pretty much the come at me bro Pokemon. You want to fight about it, that type of thing.
Well, maybe I'll have some new memes to post on Twitter or something about it.
There you go. No, I mean it's pretty cool how he's always wants to be the best and how they'll fight each other for berries and the winner is the one that gets them all, and that kind of idea of it's always fighting. And I love how they take it literally too. Like he wants to be the top dog and he literally has to be the top dog, like on wherever he sees.
Yeah. And I think wasn't part of its lore that like its claws fall off and then they make delicious food or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it just me or is that really disturbing to read about?
I feel like that's gonna be an awkward dinner with your Pokemon.
Seriously.
Sorry, dude.
I mean, they mentioned horrible things with Pokemon, especially, you know, as we'll see pretty soon with some of the other ones that were introduced here. But I still don't have a thought of like actually eating the Pokemon, you know? It doesn't seem like something that's good to do, because especially since the anime has to be trained now to think that these things are somewhat intelligent. You know, they have, they're not just sort of mindless animals, and, you know, animals aren't exactly mindless either, but still, they have personalities and whatnot, and it's like, I don't want to, it's like eating your dog. It's like, I don't want to eat my dog. I don't care how delicious he is.
Well, I don't know, I'm just wondering how it's going to be to look it in the eyes as you're putting butter on that thing. And I'm going to feel kind of bad. But, you know, native cultures don't let things go to waste. So it kind of makes sense with a Hawaiian kind of inspiration that they're gonna use it. If it falls off, they're going to put it to good use.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, you're not technically killing it. You're just cooking up a little bit of it, you know, dipping it in some butter, that kind of thing.
It regrows, right? So
it does actually. It actually doesn't say whether it regrows or not, which makes it even worse. It's like, oh god,
oops,
got all these crippled brawlers. But yeah, I love the whole boxing theme of between its claws and the half-closed eyes, like it got punched in the face and it's just dealing with a wound.
You know, for me, the eye thing is the only thing that I'm not totally sold on. I don't like how it looks kind of swollen, but it fits thematically, so I can't knock it too hard for that.
Yeah, I have seen a couple people say they're not huge fans of the drooping eye, but I guess since I know what they're going for, it kind of works for me. But I do kind of get this, like, it loses the symmetry because of that, and that makes it a little unappealing. Now, competitively, do you think this thing has a chance of being doing anything? I guess going off of that idea, do you think it has an evolution?
You know, I don't feel like this guy has. I might have a pre-evolution, but I don't feel like it has an evolution, personally.
Might do well competitively. I'm honestly not sure. I think this guy seems pretty solid mid-tier. Like, not going to be bad, but I don't think it's going to be outstanding in any way.
No.
Well, let's continue on to our Koro Pokemon, starting with Sandygast. We got our official name, and we got a new ability with Water Compaction, where if it's hit by a Water-type move, its defense stat will go up by 2. So, that's handy. I don't know how exactly handy it'll be, but it's, you know, something different.
It's definitely different, and we didn't see it actually lose HP in the trailer, so I'm wondering if it will give immunity or it won't give immunity. I don't think we know for sure yet.
Yeah.
To the water type moves.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be, it can't be immunity, especially when it's a ground type. This thing has to take, you know.
But it wouldn't even make sense though, because I don't think it's going to be able to take even one super effective hit.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, how good is this defense that can it stand up to that, the water type moves or not?
I don't know.
That's a very interesting question. I'm honestly not sure. I do like the typing though. Ghost and Ground. I think we did mention at one point before, but that is a very interesting combo.
And you know what? It does. The design for me is just kind of such a silly design, and I don't really like Pokemon that are based off objects. But you know, if it has to be there, and Sandcastle does make sense in Hawaii, kind of beach island region, but Ghost makes sense. You know, like it's a haunted castle that is roaming the beaches. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the background, we got a solid candidate for a nice new terrifying Pokemon because you know the fact that it doesn't seem harmful other than the fact that like it can suck the vitality if you stick your hand in its mouth, but otherwise it just controls little kids who grab its shovel to build it up even further, which you can't even go to the beach and relax in Pokemon anymore without being haunted or anything like that. Yeesh.
I'm not gonna be sticking anything in its mouth.
Yeah, don't blame you. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it is truly a ghost type, and wow. But I guess going off of that, we have its evolution, Palossand, and nothing too different as far as its typing or abilities or anything like that. It's just the evolution. But here's where it gets really scary as far as its background. The whole idea that it will suck up Pokemon and steal their life energy and basically keep their ill will in the sand to form other new Sandygast. What the hell?
That does sound a little bit terrifying.
Do you like the design of Palossand more or Sandygast, or are they just sort of on the same level to you?
You know, the rotating shovel on Palossand's head, a little bit too cheesy for me, but otherwise I kind of like the arms with the little towers on the sides.
Yeah, actually I do agree with you that the spinning, I mean, it gives it a little bit of a uniqueness, but I think just the way it looks was enough for that, to have it spin at all times. I mean, yeah, there's a reason for it. Yeah, it's probably a radar, but it seems weird to have a ghost need a radar.
That's true.
So, I'm not sure. I got probably the most amazing thing about this by far is the fact that there's official artwork out there now of Pikachu dying.
Well, you know, like if you're at the beach and you know you want to get rid of your bratty kid, you can just find one of these guys and toss him in.
No one has to know. Oh goodness, but yeah, it's just sucking him in, taking all their life energy, and that's it. And yeah, we have a Pikachu here with X's over his eyes and tears coming out. It's just like, oh god.
This kind of reveal kind of had a gruesome undertone, I guess.
Yeah, just a little bit. I kind of love it for it, though, because it is, like, to see them go just so dark is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I do like that. And, you know, it kind of fits with Team Skull. You have these kind of more gruesome-themed Pokemon. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
It would work. Now, do you think this will end up on your team at all, or do you think it's just going to be some sort of more of a novelty?
I'm going to enjoy it from afar, I think.
Okay. That's sort of where I stand at because, well, I've kind of already picked my ghost type with Mimikyu, so.
that one is a very, very cute Pokemon. I think a lot of people are going to go with it.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty popular, but I got my ground type with Mudsdale, got my ghost type with Mimikyu, so sorry.
Yeah, and with Marowak's new Alolan form too, ghosts really have a lot of competition this time around.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. There's a lot of ghost types being introduced this generation. At least it feels that way with what we've seen so far, which I'm down with. I don't think ghost is a super common type that gets out there, but I mean, they've definitely built up since the first gen.
Yeah, it still seems kind of rare.
Yeah, nice to have some more representation.
Yeah.
But finally, we have Stuffle, the pre-evolution of Beware, and I think probably the favorite of this one. Let's put it this way. I found something about it that I noticed in the trailer right away and tweeted about it, and it's probably been my most retweeted tweet I've ever done. I think it's like up to 600, something like that. It's unheard of from me, which, okay, that's kind of cool, but I'm assuming you have seen the tag on its butt.
I have.
What do you think of that?
It's cute. But, you know, like, as a kid, with my stuffed animals, like, the first thing I would do is I would cut off the tag. So, when I catch a Stuffle, I hope there's no blood when I take a scissors to that thing.
Oh, God. Who knows what you're cutting off? We don't know what that is. It already has a tail. We can't just make the explanation that, oh, this is the stub of its tail before it grows out. No, it's...
Well... It's like Bob Barker says on The Price is Right. You gotta neuter your cats and dogs, so...
So you're just going to be performing a circumcision when you get...
Public service here.
Oh, gosh. Take care of your Stuffles, people. Oh, boy. I mean, it is kind of funny how it doesn't like to be touched, doesn't like to be held, so it'll flail around, but as soon as it evolves, it's like, hug me so I can crush the life out of you.
It does seem kind of like it makes sense, because it gets revenge, finally. It's strong, and suddenly it's crushing people that were crushing it before.
Don't pick on Stuffle, people. It's a bad idea. But, no, I mean, the thing is, I'm so split on this thing, because, again, it's adorable. But the design still... It works better when I look at it as just a plush. When I trying to think of it as more of a bear-type Pokemon, like a bear-inspired Pokemon, it doesn't work. I don't like the design at all. But when I think of it like one of those crazy plushes you often see in stores, okay, I kind of get it. Still not a fan of Beware's design overall, but yeah, this is just a weird one for me.
It really is, and like Teddy Ursa was such a cute cub bear type Pokemon, and it's hard to have anything compare with that. I just don't... It's not my favorite bear, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it has its moments, but I'm probably not going to use it at all. I mean, it might be interesting, but, you know, it's again, one of those things that you just sort of enjoy, and like, okay, well, moving on.
Yeah, I appreciate it that it's there, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, hopefully its attack... Maybe if its attack strength really is that big in the game, it could end up being useful, but... Fighting types aren't really normal types aren't really my favorite. Fighting types aren't really my favorite, so this thing's kind of a lost cause for me. So, oh well. But that's all of the new Pokemon, and you know, since we've seen 3 of them, there's not a whole lot to talk about with them yet. But there is one thing I want to bring to the topic, where I noticed in the Gamescom footage when they showed off Turtonator, they also showed off a Battle Royal. And during it, we saw Pikachu used a normal type Z move, the first time we've ever seen the normal type Z move, and we've seen how it was selected. And I put forth the idea that the Z move is directly affected by whatever move you use that you base it on. So let's say if Pikachu had used one of the electric Z move, he would have been able to choose one of the 3 electric moves he had on his move list to base the power out of. And a lot of people have misinterpreted it, and I should have explained it a little bit better in the analysis. Like, they thought they were going to take the power of that move directly. My idea was like, okay, take the power of that move and double it or triple it for the purpose of the Z move itself. And I think that's also how, like, Slam is a physical move, so that might determine that this is now a physical Z move, or, you know, you choose a special type normal move that gets you a special type Z move that if you base it off that. And to me, it makes sense, but I haven't really shot this idea around to many, you know, people beyond the analysis. So, what do you think of this idea, Paul? Do you think this is actually possible? Am I losing my mind, or...
I think, you know, it sounds totally within the realm of possibility that it would be a multiplier based on the original base damage of the move you select. So I think this is such an interesting mechanic, and it does sound plausible to me.
So I think that really does open it up for a lot of strategy and just having it viable throughout the entire game, where it gets stronger as you get stronger.
And I do feel like, I wonder if... Do we know if the secondary effects are going to still be there? So if you use Scald, is it still going to have a chance of burning with the Z move on it? Or does that get erased with the power increase? Do we know that yet?
No, we don't. There's nothing really about it. All we saw was them playing Battle Royale. I don't speak German, so I'm not sure exactly what they were talking about during it, but I doubt they were explaining how Z moves work during the whole presentation. So it's still sort of an anomaly. I don't know if, obviously, Slam is not an entirely accurate move, so could it miss?
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. It's like, how are these getting affected? And it really could lead to a lot of strategy based on the moves that you decide to link it to.
It does, and it is such an interesting and new mechanic to bring to the game, so I enjoy all the speculation that we can have before that games actually come out. You know, a little bit less exciting than Mega Evolution, but it's still something new for fans to kind of use and guess about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of funny. Like, it has that less of a direct impact as a Mega Evolution, because you're not getting a brand new Pokemon design. It's just a move, and moves are cool, but they're also not super exciting. Like, you could think of the possibilities, but you can't really go beyond that. But I think it makes up for the fact that Z moves can be used by anything.
Yeah.
Like, imagine the Z move, like if you link the Z move to Splash when you're using Magikarp. What would that be like?
I hope that that would be some Easter egg that suddenly it becomes the most powerful move in the game and everyone's shocked.
All of a sudden, Magikarp becomes the Pokemon to have.
Screw Mega Gyarados. We're going back to Magikarp.
Yeah, there's the real power. Oh goodness. You're totally right though. I think that might be why they did introduce Alolan forms, because, well, we haven't seen a single new Mega Evolution yet, and I kind of doubt they're going to show any new ones.
Yeah, I get the feeling we're not going to see any new Mega Evolutions this time around.
Yeah, which I suppose is fine. I mean, it is a very much love it, hate it type of thing for a lot of Pokemon fans, and to sort of take a break from it and show off what they can. I mean, they did get 2 games worth of different Mega Evolutions, so I'm interested to see how it all balances out.
As long as these new Z moves make my Leavanny competitive, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's probably not gonna happen though. So.
Probably not, because there's the whole idea, and a lot of people have actually raised concerns about Rayquaza becoming even more broken because of this, because it doesn't need a Mega Stone to a Mega Evolve, so it could potentially Mega Evolve and use a Z move.
Get that thing out of my face. I don't want to see it.
It could easily be the most broken Pokemon ever, which is kind of funny to think about. But they have to have something in their heads to make sure that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, I would think that they're aware that it's going to be too much.
I would hope so, but otherwise, not a whole lot else to say about it, unless you have any other final thoughts about the little bit of new information we got on Z moves.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but I'd say overall I'm happy with this new batch. I don't think nothing stood out to me as I need to have this in my team right away, but there's a lot of fun ones, or ones that have interesting designs or interesting backgrounds to them, I should say. And that's why I just continue to enjoy the new Pokemon they keep introducing. But
I really did enjoy that this new trailer and Turtonator. It was a good batch, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Still overall positive, or what's your general feeling so far about all the Pokemon they've shown so far? Does it feel like a good gen for you as far as Pokemon wise?
I'm loving it. I feel like it's almost a renaissance of Generation 3, where you had all the kind of more tropical Pokemon introduced and that were kind of different from Generations 1 and 2. I feel like we're seeing that kind of again, so I'm loving it.
No, I agree with you. It is interesting to how they're sort of pulling from all over, have these sort of outlandish designs, some of the more general designs, even going back to Gen 1 and sort of reimagining them as different types, which is always kind of fun. It really feels like there's a lot of variety to this generation so far.
Yeah, there really is.
Mm-hmm. But I think that covers it for our Sun and Moon discussion, so thank you for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. And Paul, where can they find you at?
Go to PokéJungle.net for some Pokemon Sun and Moon rumors, or follow me on social media as PokéJungle.
Awesome. And of course, stay tuned to Game Explained for more on Pokemon and other things gaming as well. Until next time, guys. Bye.